Okay, so today we're going to be looking at a question on grade 12 trigonometry, and it's a typical past examination question where this would require you to draw a diagram and answer a question based on that diagram. So once again, it's a grade 12 trigonometry question. If you want the full benefit of this particular video, you would want to answer this particular question first, and then come back to in a few minutes and come and check the solution out. Okay, so the question reads as follows. It says 4 tan alpha plus 5 equals to 0. It says that alpha will lie between 0 and 180, which means that our angle must be in either the first or the second quadrant. Evaluate without using a calculator the square root of 41 times cos alpha minus 4 sine minus 150 degrees times cos of 180 degrees. So the first thing that we want to do here is we want to make tan alpha the subject of our equation. So this would be 4 tan alpha plus 5 equals to 0, and you would get 4 tan alpha equals to minus 5. Therefore tan alpha is minus 5 over 4. Now what do we know about tan alpha? The formula for tan alpha is equal to y over x, or we can say opposite over adjacent. I think we learned that in grade 10, SOCA TOA, the acronym, and there's also one that you learn for your x and your y's and your r's and so on. So typically tan of alpha is opposite over adjacent, or y over x. And from here we can construct our diagram, and our diagram would look something like this. So my diagram is going to be drawn in the second quadrant, and the reason for that is that we can clearly see that tan is negative, and it definitely can't be drawn in the first quadrant because in the first quadrant all my trig ratios are positive. So that's a fairly easy decision for us. So if we have a look at alpha, remember all angles are drawn in an anti-clockwise direction, and it starts from the positive x-axis. So now let's fill in all our information. Now what's important for us to take note of here is that tan is y over x, and now let's go look at the second quadrant, and in the second quadrant y is positive and x is negative, so therefore that's negative 4, and that's going to equal to 5. It's very important that you check your signs. Remember, in the second quadrant your y value is positive and your x value is negative. Something that you should also take note of is that r, your radius or hypotenuse, is always positive. So now we can solve for r, and we do that using the Theorem of Pythagoras. So r squared is going to equal to x squared plus y squared, so minus 4 squared plus 5 squared, excuse my handwriting, Pythagoras, so that will be 16 plus 25, and that's going to equal to 41. So we can clearly see that r is going to equal to square root of 41. Now remember, r is always positive, so we don't have to bother about the signs. So now looking at this particular question, it says root 41 cos alpha minus 4 sine of minus 150 times cos of 180. Let us look what we have here. So if you look here now, you got cos of alpha. Right now we can actually go and substitute for cos of alpha. Cos of alpha will be x over r, and we just solve for r. But let us now reduce what we have over here, which is sine of minus 150 and cos of 180. So let's quickly look at that. So what would you do to sine of minus 150? So sine of negative 150 degrees is going to equal to minus sine of 150 degrees, which is equal to, now remember that 150 degrees is in your, which quadrant is it? It's in your second quadrant. Therefore your formula for reduction is 180 minus theta. That will be minus sine of 180 minus 30, which is minus sine 30, which is minus half. Okay, so this whole thing here is going to be minus half. Okay, and cos of 180 degrees, once again here we can either use second or the third quadrant, so it will be cos of 180 minus 0 or 180 plus 0. So because cos is negative in the second and the third quadrant, it's going to reduce to a negative, so it's minus cos of 0 degrees, and that's going to be minus 1. So this whole part over here is going to be minus 1. This part over here is going to be minus half, and the rest of it obviously you can just substitute here. Cos of alpha, and what's cos of alpha going to equal to? Cos of alpha is going to be minus 4 over root 41. So let's quickly just go and substitute here into this limited space that I have here, which is root 41, and cos of alpha is going to be equal to minus 4 over the square root of 41, and that's going to be minus 4. And I already did the working here, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put minus half there, okay, and I'm going to put minus 1 there. As you can see, guys, root 41 cancels, which is now going to leave me with the following, which is minus 4, and that's going to be minus times minus times minus, which is going to be minus 2. All agree? Minus times minus is plus, plus times minus is minus, 4 times half is 2, half times 2 times 1 is 2. Therefore, I'm going to be left with negative 6. Okay, so the final answer there will be minus 6. Okay, and I hope that explanation does it for you. So just a quick recap there. Make sure that you construct your diagram in the correct quadrant. Make sure all your conditions are met. So you must know your theory, know your cast diagram. Remember, the cast diagram is CAST. All students take care, first, second, third, fourth. Okay, and then know your formulas for sine, cos, and tan, and your signs of your x and y values in your second, third, and fourth quadrant. You should be fine. Okay, remember, trig is a very theoretical section. You must know your theory. Let's look at the second question here that we have, question 2 in this trigonometry spot home test series. And let's look at here. So this is another construction question. And over here you can see we've got sine 2 theta equals 2 root 6 over 5, where theta lies between 45 and 360 degrees. Determine with the aid of a diagram and without using a calculator the value of sine theta. So once again, if you look very carefully, we want to draw our diagram. Now remember, right, as I mentioned before, the theory is very important in this particular section. If I just have to rewrite sine 2 theta equals to 2 root 6 over 5. What is the formula for sine theta? It is y over r. Now, what do I know about my cast diagram? See, all students take care. So if I look at it now, remember sine is only positive in the first and the second quadrant. So therefore, I have to draw my diagram in the second quadrant. And my angle is, don't forget, 2 theta. So there we go, and remember 2 root 6 is y, so therefore that will be 2 root 6, and that's going to be 5. My r, or my radius, or my hypotenuse is 5. So to find my x value, I'm going to use the theorem of Pythagoras, so therefore that's going to be x squared equals to 5 squared minus 2 root 6 all squared, using the theorem of Pythagoras. And let's quickly put that in our calculator. So we're going to get 5 squared minus, and in brackets 2 root 6 all squared. Remember, it's the hypotenuse squared minus the other side squared, and that's equal to 1. Okay, so therefore x equals 2 plus minus the square root of 1 is equal to minus 1. This is very important. As I mentioned before, always check your sign. Remember that in the second quadrant x is negative. That is the range students tend to make a mistake. Know your signs in each quadrant. Now they say that we must evaluate or find, without using calculator, we must find sine of theta. Now what is this that we are given? We're given a double angle. What do we know about double angles? We know that double angles have expansion. Sine 2 theta is 2 sine theta cos theta. But cos 2 theta has 3 expansions. Cos square theta minus sine square theta 2 cos squared theta minus 1, 1 minus 2 sine squared theta. So if we look very carefully, we want to find sine theta. So which is going to be the best expansion for us? Let's write all down again. So we can say that cos 2 theta is going to equal to cos squared theta minus sine squared theta equal to 2 cos squared theta minus 1, or 1 minus 2 sine squared theta. Now I will choose 1 minus 2 sine squared theta. The reason is that they want me to find sine theta. So I'll write down cos 2 theta equals to 1 minus 2 sine squared theta. And now I'm going to solve or make sine theta the subject of my equation. So that will be 2 sine squared theta equals to 1 minus cos 2 theta. Sine of theta is going to equal to square root of 1 minus cos 2 theta all over 2. Basically all I've done here is make sine theta the subject of my equation. What is cos 2 theta? Cos 2 theta is x over r, which is minus 1 over 5. Therefore I can conclude that sine of theta is equal to square root of 1 minus cos 2 theta is going to be x over r, which is minus 1 over 5, and that's going to be all over 2. Okay, so boys and girls, as you can see, that would be my answer. 1 minus, and in brackets minus 1 over 5. You can simplify further if you wish to, but I'm just going to leave it like that for now. Okay, so doing a quick recap on these type of questions. Remember that your construction in the correct quadrant, check your signs, know your expansions, and you should be fine. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, which is JL Maths. You may have subscribed to my other channel, which is Justin Lazarus. All future videos would go to JL Maths, and you can also check my website out, which is jlmaths.com. I'll catch you in the next video.